me right at home. Honey, does it well. Keep me dancing till I'm dead. 'Cause I could run a mile like this. Head over heels, feels like this. The sun has got me on my track. I ain't never looking back. I ain't looking back. I ain't looking back. I ain't looking back. I ain't looking back.
Hello, my name is Joe Skubin, and I'm married to Bernadette Skuban. We have a farm here in Edmonton, Alberta, in Canada.
My name is Bernadette Skuban, and I live in Westlock County, Alberta. It's about an hour north of Edmonton with my husband Joe and our 8 children. The first thing that comes to my mind when I think about a big family, being married to Joe, etc., is fulfillment for me, especially because I had a lot of time alone just with my dad. I find having a large family actually very, very healing.
What a blessing it's been, like having 8 kids. There's so much joy every day. We have our ups and downs and things, but I find Christ is in everyone in our lives, including our children, and seeing Christ inside and being able to love him through the kids and them loving us back, and being able to hand our faith to them, just such a beautiful reward. We've always been open to a big family, and I remember when we first talked about it, and we were joking happily, it'd be great to have about 6 kids. I was from a big family. Bernadette was from a family of 3, and she was excited about it.
Joe had a larger family, and I thought that was very beautiful. We couldn't get pregnant right away, so it took us a little bit of time, and then we lost that first baby. Then it took us a little bit of time to get pregnant with Dominique. Because we started off without children, in the sense that we had to wait a little while, we lived in Westlock at the time, Joe and I, so we very much loved to go to daily mass. We prayed together, and so then once the kids came along, we just continued that.
The reactions we sometimes get are usually people, we get a lot of smiles when we had our big family and everyone was home and we go to the malls or the stores or things. We notice a lot of smiles. I think people, they see the beauty of a large family.
Well, sometimes if we go to a restaurant, people would be like, oh, is this like your kindergarten class? And that's kind of funny, and be like, well, yeah, actually kind of, because we homeschool. Sometimes, we'd go to the grocery store and people would say, if I was pregnant again and had, toddlers at foot, and some of the older kids, they'd say, we have help for that. Sometimes negative things. But I knew that they didn't really understand the joy of a large family, and that I was actually happy being pregnant and expecting another one, and that my kids were too. They were very happy. They're like, oh great, we have another sibling coming. Some of the biggest challenges I think that I had as a mom was having time for myself, having personal time, personal prayer time, and sometimes that had to happen while I was nursing, and also just being able to have time with my husband, which I saw as being very, very important. Now as the kids are older, the challenges are sometimes bigger, sometimes smaller. It's just very different. But prayer is definitely the best way I have found to overcome them all, and spiritual guidance.
We all have different personalities, and every personality is beautiful. And we all have our strengths and we all have our weaknesses. Some of our biggest challenges would probably getting used to everyone's different personality, and learning to be able to get through those things and see other people's strengths, see their weaknesses, and that's where we can help with our strengths.
When I went to Bible school, it was very much a year of growth and formation, just really developing that personal relationship with the Lord. And so I had committed to not dating or even thinking about dating that year, but I knew that it was a really good opportunity for me to discern marriage or another vocation.
We had gone to a Bible school, John Paul II Bible School. I had gone 1 year, and she came the next year. And I went to a fundraiser, and she shared her testimony, what God did in her life. And I was quite moved by her spirituality and how much she loved God. And so I went to talk to her, and I visited with her a little bit, and I asked her, "Can I write to you?" And she said yes.
And so I opened the Bible, and it said, "Stay with a godly man." And I was like, well, that is pretty specific. So kind of the rest is history. I really knew.
When we got married, our spiritual life was very similar. We had gone to Bible school. We knew the importance of our prayer life, and we made sure we always went to Mass. We tried to go to daily Mass as often as we could. We just loved our Catholic faith. We both loved Jesus, and we knew he was present there in the church, and that was where our lives centered around.
As a husband and as a father, I think both the biggest quality is sacrifice for him. He's very self-sacrificial, and he's shown that example to all the kids. Probably the most unselfish person you'll ever meet. Always the first one to step up to help me. And he really wanted to be able for us to live simply so that, one, we wouldn't have a lot of debt, but also that we wouldn't have a lot of stress because of debt. And so I'm so grateful that he taught us all that simplicity.
Bernadette, she is such a servant. Like, she's always served the kids. She's always given her whole self. She puts her kids' needs above herself. And it's such an example for me. And I watch her doing that morning till night, serving them and showing them Christ's love. Such a beautiful example. She's a woman of prayer, and they see that's where she gets her strength. And that's so important for her. That's the biggest example she gives. Our oldest girl is Dominique, and she has so many gifts. She's like our prayer warrior.
Dominique is 28, and she is in about to start her last year of teaching. Dominique is very artistic in the sense that she loves things to look just right, and she has a very keen eye for organization and just making things very, very beautiful. She has a love for beauty.
Joy doesn't mean that everything was always easy and sunshine and roses, and sometimes you think of big family, you think, oh, it's just all fun, I always remember when Mom and Dad would sit us down. We have something to talk to you about. And we'd be like, my heart would be racing. Like, what is it? And Mommy and Daddy are going to have another baby, and you're going to have another brother or sister. And there's just no feeling like that I can really compare to.
Our second oldest is Veronica. She is going to be 26.
She is about to start her third year of psychology. She wants to get her master's and be a psychologist.
She just has a heart of gold. She's always trying to help anyone and everyone. She puts herself last all the time.
I just think that's so interesting. There's no personal gain in things we do as a family. It's always for the broader community. We weren't okay, Isaac, pay up after or anything. We celebrated together. I think a big family has taught a lot of us to do hard things and to not expect something in return. And that's, I think, what brings a lot of joy.
Our oldest son is Isaac. He is the third oldest in the family. He's very social. He's a counselor for Division 5 in Westlock, and he's very involved in politics. God's really using his gifts right now.
He is very intuitive and kind of the wise one in the family. He's very, very wise and very intellectual and really is a leader.
Being in a big family really can cultivate a lot of your natural talents. You grow up in an environment where people don't really like shatter your dreams or tell you can't do anything. So I think it's kind of nice to hear just like, yeah, everybody's been able to really pursue passions and grow up in an environment where people support you and don't really bring you down. Everyone kind of can bring out the best in you. And yeah, I think that's pretty evident throughout our families.
Patrick is very funny. He makes me laugh like so much by his impersonations of people. He has a strong prayer life. He loves our Blessed Mother very, very much.
I really enjoy having someone at home in the evenings. We can watch Formed or other Christian programs, and we enjoy that so much.
He likes being home and being with his little brother Justin. The two of them are like two peas in a pod.
Some skills that maybe I learned from the family that helped me there is, I don't know, I feel like I'm very organized and very much like things perfectly done, you know, make it look nice. You can never have a more down-to-earth relationship with somebody who is not your sibling, you know? Like, yeah, there's just something special about having a sibling, you know? You can be very close, you can talk about things you just aren't comfortable talking about with anybody else, you know? It's a very much deeper friendship than you can have with anybody who is not your sibling.
When I think Sam, I think big. Sam's personality is very big, and it's awesome. He is the director of a Catholic camp in our diocese.
The thing is, Samuel, he knows his faith so well, and he loves to share it, whether it's in university or with his friends or new people. Really encouraging, I think, for other people. He knows how to encourage them.
Growing up in a big family, what I really enjoyed was, although there were a lot of us, and sometimes it was like hard to, some challenges where it was hard to find a lot of different outlets to, whether it was with sports or just spending time with other people and friends, because there were so many of us. It was really great to have parents that intentionally did their best to journey with us.
Miguel is, he is just such a joyful person, and he would love explaining things to people and sharing his faith.
Miguel is about to start his first year of university. He got accepted into the University of Alberta for teaching, and he's really looking forward to that. He's going to major in math.
Sometimes I kind of felt like I was the youngest child without like the youngest child benefits because I was Justin, but I got tough fast, but there's also a lot of good stuff too. And I'm one of the siblings who works with people with special needs. It's nice knowing you always got older siblings who have your back, right? And like you were saying, I guess about me, I really try and stick up for my family.
Martin is our second youngest son. He's 18. He just turned 18. He has autism. One thing is he doesn't know how to be envious or jealous. His simplicity is so beautiful.
He's a bundle of joy. He'll dance around. He just loves music. He loves to pick up pieces on the piano, and he can play by ear. He loves to draw. He's very artistic.
Our youngest is Justin. He is very, very creative. He's done a lot of different little projects. Right now he's working on making a bike into kind of like a motorized bike.
He's also very musical. He just started playing piano. Justin is very, very tender-hearted, and he is kind of quiet on the outside sometimes, but when you get in one-on-one with him, like, he is just such an amazing conversationalist, and he's very interesting.
We all play whatever sport we want. We're all so athletic because growing up, we all played sports, whether it be baseball someday, soccer one day, next day we try basketball, but then go back to hockey. We tried sumo wrestling one day,
Go for hunting.
We go for hunting, Not everybody can do that, when you have a big family, live out in the country, and you have a lot of privileges that a small family doesn't have.
So one of the beautiful things about, having Martin in our family, a child with a disability, is that's one of the things that, so Dominique and Veronica and Isaac and Miguel, they all work with adults with disabilities and in town, and they're very gifted with that, and the organization actually even will choose them to work with some of their more difficult adults. So it's really been a gift, and so it's not uncommon to wonder where they are and find out that they're on a fire call, and so we're very proud of them. All of our kids we're very proud of.
We've decided to homeschool our children. I know the main reason we wanted to preserve their innocence, teach them what we like. We can take them to Mass when we like.
I think we just really loved having the kids around, and we did everything together as a family, and so we've just really enjoyed homeschooling. Martin was the only one who was not homeschooled because of his autism. So it was either keep Martin at home and send the kids to school, or allow Martin to grow in that school setting, and for us that's really what worked. I think the conflicts between the children, of course, have changed over time. In the beginning, sibling rivalry or whatever it is, right? And then just being able to talk to them and share that with this, we're family, we live together, and then as they're older now, like they of course figure things out on their own. They help each other get along. And also too, I find that in the real world we have to get along with everyone. There's hundreds and hundreds of different kinds of people. Their personalities are different, and just in the home, it's so beautiful to see the kids working these things out through their different personalities. It grows their character, and I think it really helps them prepare for life when they do grow up and they run into different people. When the kids were little, we had already started going to daily masses as a couple, and so naturally the kids just came along with us too, and daily rosary was a big thing as well. And then in between, spontaneous prayer sometimes when we knew that someone was in trouble or needed prayers, that kind of thing. Offering up sacrifices was a big part of our family, just getting the kids to be able to think of others. We all have our daily morning prayer time where we get together and we all find something that we enjoy, whether it's reading the Bible or, the kids' saint stories, just personal prayer books, anything to start our day off with Christ. And now that the kids are older, we hope that is something that has been instilled in them so that they will continue to do it in their own homes. Some people might think it's a big financial burden to have extra kids, but I really find that in this world, we all have a lot of toys we buy and things for ourselves, and there is a little bit of sacrifice. Clothing, shelter, you have to have a house anyway for your family, so if you have a few extra kids,
you can make do with a smaller home.
That's one thing too, is just like I've always felt like, oh, I wish I had a bigger house, right? But the kids have never, ever said that. The kids have never said, our home is not big enough, ever.
Even a smaller house, like, it is so beautiful in some ways. From when you have a smaller house, nobody can run away from their problems and hide into a certain room. Like, you learn to get along. You're living with two other kids in your room, and it builds a lot of character. Every single person is a gift from God, and there's beauty in everyone. Nothing in this world is a coincidence. Like, God puts every person in our lives for a reason.
I guess one of the things I'd like to share is I think it's just so important to see that each family is unique, each marriage is unique, all your children are unique, every family is beautiful, and not to be discouraged that a different family is living differently than you.
My life is a miracle. Every child has a story of God's love to share. Shalom world, tune into God's love story.